Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. We're going to get to do something today I know every single one of you guys have done before, and that's want to go back in time and spend some money buying trains. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. But today, we're going back to 1962. What a great year, incredible catalog, and wonderful trains. Now, I'm going to split this up into two episodes. First episode is, well, I'm going back to 1962 as a kid buying trains. That should be a lot of fun. There's some cool stuff in there. The second episode is a little different. Well, I know a little more about trains now than I would have done back then as a kid. So I'm going to go back in time with that same $250 as a collector and see what I can come up with. This is going to be great. Let's get this done. Okay, couple rules before we go back in time and spend our aunt's money on buying some incredible trains from whatever year we're headed to, right? Well, the first rule is this. We only have a certain amount of money, and that's it. In other words, if it comes out to, hey, I want that one more piece, but it's 10 or 15 cents more, tough. You still got to make those tough decisions, and that's kind of it. The other is you only get to buy one of something. Yeah, it'd be easy to go back to, say, 1956 and say, all right, I'm going to buy 2 Jersey Central sets, brand new, in their boxes. As a matter of fact, maybe even in the master carton, and just hold them there. Okay, well, that's great and all, but that makes for a really boring episode because, well, that's kind of it, all right? The last thing is, well, you get what you get. In other words, what's in the catalog is what you get to choose from. Yes, there was some great uncatalogued stuff available in whatever year we're going to, but that doesn't mean you had immediate access to it. It's what's in the consumer catalogs we're choosing from. The other part of that is that when you order it, you get whatever would have come. Okay? That said, say you wanted a Santa Fe operating boxcar. You're most likely going to get the white lettered one because that's how they came, okay? But there is a rare version with the black lettering, right? You're not going to get that one, okay? Just don't, all right? You're going to say, hey, if I'm going to order this, this is the car that you're actually going to get. So those are the rules we're going to play by. Let's see what you guys come up with too, as mentioned, and let's have some fun with it. It's coming your way. Okay, what we have here is our 1962 consumer catalog and some of our aunt's money, and our goal is to put ourselves together an incredible set of trains to run and operate. Remember, I am a kid in 1962. Now, what's really great about this catalog is not only is it trains accessories, but it is model motor racing, complete science labs, phonographs, tapes, and tape recorders. Okay, now we're going to focus on the trains and accessories. Somewhere along the way we might touch on some of this stuff, not necessarily part of this particular exercise, but there's some really incredible stuff in this side of the catalog. But let's focus on the trains for today. All right, let's take a little peek around and open it up. So as you kind of open up into the catalog, it really shows that not only do they have trains, but they're also focusing on some of the other items and toys and things that kids were into of the day. Remember, this is early 60s. The writing on the wall in terms of like the trains and how much value that necessarily had. But it was still a featured item. Basically, half the catalog is still trains, and the other half is all the other items. So let's kind of turn the pages and start looking here. Okay. So let's take a little peek around. So our first sets that are on these are really kind of neat. Basically some starter sets, neat little steam engine here, and a little Santa Fe. So again, as a kid, I'm looking at this going, that's kind of cool. I like this, but really doesn't grab me necessarily. Great color scheme on the Santa Fe, but that's pretty much it. As we turn the page, it does start getting a little bit more interesting. That's nothing crazy in terms of our sets here, but this little New Haven set is really cool. Great little Alco, got a helicopter car, and these little Mercury transport car, project cars. These are really neat too. Not necessarily anything I'm going to add to my list as of yet. Now, as you start turning the corner, you start getting into a little bit more action and certainly a little more of sort of that space and military. You got some beautiful Texas Special Alcos here with a let's say a satellite launcher, a target car that blows up, and the little thing, and a rocket fuel car. I mean, this is an absolutely great set. Not necessarily going to make our list here, but at the same time, this would be certainly very attractive if you were looking to get into some trains and want some action. Now, as we turn the page, we got something a little more interesting. I really like this. Now, you got Steam set down below. Nothing terribly crazy, but look at this set right here. This is incredible. Look, you get a C&O GP7. You got a reconnaissance helicopter car, so it opens up. A helicopter comes out. You got your target car. You got your target shooter here. And this boat right here is actually the rocket little boat, which is really cool. So this is an absolutely fantastic set. What boy wouldn't want this? I want this. So to start off, we're going to put this set on the list. This is a set 11268, which is a 6-unit C&O diesel freight, and it goes for $49.95. All right, that's a pretty good start because this was a great set with a lot of great action. So we've got to remember these cars. This is kind of what I was going for, just some good action pieces for the layout. As you turn the page, man, more still really cool. Look at these. These 229s are pretty cool. You got the little rocket launcher. You got the little dude here. Mercury project car, your rocket. So this is really a great set too. I'm going to hold off a little bit too. Ooh, look at that. I'm not necessarily looking for a Steam set quite yet, but this is kind of neat. Again, helicopter, rockets, this exploding car. Ooh, got to have one of these somewhere along the way. Look at that. That's a submarine car. Interesting. So I might have to circle back to this page if I don't kind of find something that fits some of the pieces that I want. Let's see here. All right, now this is interesting. I kind of really do want to consider adding a passenger set somewhere along the way. And I've got a couple different choices, and I don't want to forget what I'm seeing down here. Goodness gracious, these catalog pages are incredible. Okay, so I do want a passenger set, but I'm going to hold off a little bit there. I do kind of like playing Cowboys and Indians, so you can't kind of go wrong with this. And my goodness, what a great set right here. This is very similar to that first set with the C&O. So this might be something worth swapping out for, depending. So I'm going to put this on my list because I can maybe decide between the two. So I'm going to start off here. I'm going to add the Enforcer. Look at that. I love that. This is all flying action cars. It's a gift pack. This is set 12/5/12. The Enforcer. It's for $39.95. Absolutely. All right, cool. So I've got some options here. All right, I'm liking this though, but let's circle back. All right, so then it gives us some 027 track, because that's all the O and 027 sets. So let's kind of circle into Super O. Now, of course, all my friends are saying Super O is still the way to go, and I'm going to go with that. What a great sets on this thing, too. The steamer's kind of cool. Action cars, nothing terribly crazy there. This is a great set. Look at that. All right, Santa Fe, I don't really love the color scheme, but it's not bad. But this car right here is neat. Always like the airplanes. Got a rocket launcher, satellite car, exploding box car. This is kind of a neat set, and it's Super O, which is great. So it actually comes with some track with this set. So I like this a lot. So this is interesting. All right, but I've got some of these other cars coming in some of these other sets. So I'm going to put this on the list just to kind of give me something to work with. So I'm going to put a 13018. This is the Super O 6-unit Starfire diesel freight. This is $49.95. I know I'm going to have to cut something out, but at least I kind of am starting to get some of the cars that I know that I'm going to want. This is a great page here. Goodness gracious, it just keeps going. Love this set. I've always wanted one of these cars here. There's the submarine. Yeah, okay, this is just incredible. I'm certainly going to have to think about this too. This is the Defender. Not quite yet. You know, I gotta tell you, I do really like something like this. It's also, you get Super O track with this, so this is kind of a nice little thing. It's also a passenger car. This might actually satisfy what I'm looking for. I tell you what, I'm gonna go with this guy right here. This is cool. This is the 13036. This is the Super O 6-unit Plainsman Steam outfit. Now, it's $59.95. My goodness, I am eating through my budget already. I know somewhere along the way I'm going to cut a couple of these sets out, but I feel like I've got to get a general set. This is fantastic right there. Oh my goodness, it just keeps getting better. Now, if I was going to get a steamer, this is kind of the way to go. So I may want to consider somewhere along the way getting one of these. This is kind of a nice set. This is kind of a little more old school. Doesn't really have some of those space and military things that I'm really looking for, but it does look like a pretty cool set. This right here, though, is very intriguing because we've got a set of Santa Fe F3s. My goodness, those are gorgeous. Look at that. And then there's that reconnaissance car, rocket launcher, loader, exploding boxcar. This has got a lot of play value right here. I'm liking this, but my understanding is the next page has got even cooler stuff. Man, look at that. Whew, that's a lot of action. Not really some of the space military stuff, but look at that. This crane car, that's play value there. Play value, got boats. Man, this is tough choices. All right, let's see here. Between these bigger sets, what would I go for? This is kind of a tough call. The GG1 is kind of nice, but it doesn't really grab me. That would be a nice set, but I've kind of looked at a passenger set already. I'm liking this right here too. I'm going to see if I can maybe hit up one of these guys. All right, so I'm going to go with this. This is the 13058. This is the Super 07 unit Vanguard diesel freight for $89.95. Goodness gracious. Okay, I know I can't keep all the sets too, but this has got a couple of cars that I really want to have on my list here of items. So this is cool. All right, so I've seen a couple accessories throughout, so we're going to have to definitely reach back on that. I just don't think I can keep one of these in my budget. All right, so I've got Super O. Definitely going to circle back when it comes time to see if I can add anything to it so I can, make my pike bigger. And then let's take a little peek around. Oh, that's right. I've got to somehow put power to this thing. Look at my choices, and certainly there's a bunch of choices here. I'm kind of going for something in this range here too. All my buddies say a ZW is the way to go, but man, it just eats up so much of my budget. This KW, though, is not a bad deal. So the ZW is 275 watts, but I mean, I'm going to grow. But at the same time, this KW, double throttle control, 190 watts for $32.50. All right, we're going to put this on our list. I think this is going to be a much better fit to what I need, and it's going to be $32.50, a KW transformer. All right, let's take a little peek, see what's in these next pages. Oh my goodness, look at all this cool stuff. Interesting too. Look at that. That's cool. Those little hand cars kind of neat. I love that. Some of these pieces I've kind of have already on my list, with some of the sets. I don't have a really good steam engine yet. That would be really neat to add. I just don't know that I can do it. What's this one? This is the 736. It's number J. And it's the Berkshire Steam, and it's $49.95. Oh my goodness. But I need a steam engine. I don't know if I can put a 637. What is that? K. That one's only $37.50. So that's pretty cheap, but still looks like it's a pretty cool steamer, and it has steam and whistle. All right, I'm going to go with this. I need to add a steam engine to what I'm doing here too, because I don't really have any steam on any of the other sets that I have so far. And I really would like to have that other than this general. Both of those are really cool. So to mix it up a little bit, let's do that. I'm going to add a separate sale Mohawk steam locomotive. This is the 637 LTS for $37.50. Okay, that's a pretty cool deal. All right, let's see what else they got. These are all the new space military cars. I think some of the sets I've looked at have this. So I may have to circle back to this page if I don't get some of the items that I'm looking for. This page certainly loaded with some incredible pieces. There's our submarine. Definitely got to make sure I get one of those. Boat, helicopter car, exploding boxcar. A couple of them already have that. So one way or other, I should be able to get one of those. And my 3665. So I got a couple different options. I'm going to have to circle back to this too as well. All right, and then just keeps going too. And some of this is some items. A couple of friends of mine say they really like to have. Autoloader, boat loader, super cool. Definitely got to get a plane somewhere along the way. And some of this stuff's included in some of the sets. So I'm kind of really excited. Again, may have to circle back if I don't get something and see if I have any money left in the budget. All right, now we're talking accessories. Now, somewhere along the way, I've got to have some stuff on the side here, right? Some pretty neat stuff. Now, I know I've got some sort of exploding pieces, but this is kind of neat that you kind of have a stationary base. I can move that around maybe and shoot at some of the things that explode. I know I've got some exploding cars here, but they do have, missile with camouflage exploding target car. But then this is like the rocket launcher across. Well, that's just kind of neat. So I like this with the little ammo dump. That's kind of cool because then I can place it in a couple different areas and see it explode. So I'm going to, let's see, or the target car. Well, shoot, which one do I want? How about the ammo dump? So I'm going to go with the 443 platform exploding ammo, and good, it's a little cheaper because it's $6.95. Definitely adding that to our list. I like some of this other stuff. This is kind of cool here. I always like these little things, little banjo. It's kind of neat. I see those around town when I go past the train. So I want one of these guys here too. So this is a banjo signal number 140 for $5.95. Ooh, cool little heliport. That's kind of neat. What is that? The new heliport. Ooh, it's new. All right, dual purpose terminal for tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. The number 419, that's what this is. I like this. I want to give that a try. That might be something really cool to have. And it's only $9.95. I'm in. We're going to get one of those. All right, that's a pretty good start as far as some of the accessories. There's some smaller stuff, some of this Plasticville. You kind of need some of this stuff and maybe some stuff for the layout. But I'm going to have to come back. Hopefully I have something in the budget to be able to grab some of this stuff here too. This is really neat. And then getting to the HO stuff. These are some of the same cars, which is really kind of cool. HO. Okay, so I think we're done. We have found ourselves everything that we would want. I'm way over budget, but I think I've just got to figure out which sets I want that have the cars that I want. This is going to be incredible. I am so glad my aunt gave me that money. Hopefully, I can figure out what I'm going to keep. Okay, so now I've gotten everything out of the 62 catalog that I would have wanted as a kid. I've got it on the counter, and of course the shop owner's like, sorry bro, you don't have enough money. Okay, that's fair, and I figured that was going to happen. So we've got a little bit of work to do here. So according to my calculations, I've spent $382.60. Now I've got to cut that back down to that $250 that my aunt gave me. And again, that's all I have to the penny. So I've got a little bit of a game plan. Let's see how I do. Okay, so I've got to circle back to our catalog and try and figure out how I can cut down, because I have, according to my calculations, I've overspent. I'm at $382.60. I've got to figure out a way. So I've got a little bit of a thought process. I do want to get some cool cars, but I also don't want to duplicate anything. And if there's something I cut out, I could always add that. I got to keep that in mind. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is let's kind of go to a couple pages in to one of the first sets I added, okay? And that is this guy right here. And this is a great set, don't get me wrong, but this has the helicopter reconnaissance car, it's got the little balloon launcher, it's got the little shooter, so it's got some really cool stuff, but I got a set that's a little bit further back, which is this guy right here, and this is the Enforcer. I mean, come on, it's the Enforcer. I got to keep this set too because it also comes with a diesel that has rockets on it. So it shoots here. This has a cool little satellite or little rocket launcher. This also has the helicopter car, the balloon car, the shooter. So because of that, this is an absolutely fantastic set for $39.95 and has everything that I kind of want. So I think I can let this set go. So the first thing we're going to take off our list is this set 11268. And that's dropping $49.95 off of our total. So far so good. That kind of gets us where we need to go, but still getting some of the cars that I want to have. As we go a little further along, And we get into the Supro sets. This is another great set, and I want to keep this set. This set is loaded with action. It has all the cars that I want to have. Got to have an airplane, another rocket launcher. It's got a satellite car too, and it's got an exploding boxcar, so it satisfies all the things I want out of this too. Definitely keeping this set right here. As we go a little further, I really like this general set. Also kind of gives me a little passenger set, so I love this. And it's got the Gold Reserve car. You know, it's got the Sheriff and Outlaw. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want this? So this is also going to stay on our list. But I've got to cut something. So I was thinking about that, and that pulls me all the way back to one of these higher end sets, which is this guy right here. So this is the Vanguard set. Now this set has a lot of the stuff, again, that's included in some of the other sets. Even though I'm not getting a beautiful set of F3s, I'm okay with that because I don't need another one of these, I don't need another one of these, and I don't need necessarily another exploding boxcar. So because of that, I think it makes sense to take this off of my list as well. And that's great because it actually saves me $89.95. Now, I don't feel like I'm still quite where I need to be because I want to add some stuff back on if I'm going to take these things away. The item that I'm going to take away too, one more, I'm going to kind of go to some of the separate sale stuff. And that's these guys here. I know that I kind of said I wanted to maybe add a steamer, which is this guy right here. But to be honest with you, I've got a general set, and that's a cool steaming engine. So this 637, I'm also going to take off the list. That I think will give me enough room to be able to add a few things back I really want to have for the layout. So this 637 drops another $37.50 off our total. Now, so that should give me I'm sitting at $205.20. So I'm under budget, which means I have got some room to add some things on. Now, what am I going to add? So the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm building a Super O layout. Now, the Super O sets that I've gotten, the 130118 and the 13036, are both Super O sets, so they come with some track. They get some curves, a few straights, but doesn't have any switches. So I definitely want to add a set of switches, which will give me a little more option to be able to make this more interesting layout. So I'm going to go with a set of 112. This is a pair of the remote control switches, which will be $25. Okay, so $25. All right, that's a pretty good total, but I think this is going to be a value item there. All right, what else do I want to add here too? So I'm going to go back to some of the sort of separate sales stuff and say, what do I want? What's really cool is I pretty much get almost everything on this page with some of the sets that I've gotten. So I mean, this is all action-packed. But I go here, and one of the cars I know I've got to have is this guy right here. I want a submarine car. There's not one in any of the sets so far. This is F, and F is the operating submarine car, which is a 3830 for $8.95. That's going back on my list. Love it. And then I was also kind of thinking, when I was looking at all this, again, great stuff here. It's hard not to, but I got to figure out maybe another accessory I want to add. And to be honest with you, this is kind of cool. This has caught my eye. This is the little rotary beacon. So you kind of turn on, it goes around. It's kind of add some action, some light to the layout. So I'm also going to add this guy right here. So this is a $494 for $6.95. I think this is a good value item for sure. I like that a lot too. Now, according to my calculations, this puts me at about $246.10. So I've got about $3.90 to play with. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do. So I was thinking about it, and I am going to add maybe a little bit more track. Okay, this is a great opportunity to do that. So let's see if I can go to where the Super O track is. I'm just going to add some straight tracks. Okay, there's plenty of curves in some of the sets that I have, but not a ton of straight tracks. So I'm going to add, let's see, here's the number 32 straight tracks. These are 50 cents each. So I am going to add 6 pieces of straight track, which is $3. Now, I've got 90 cents left according to my calculator. Now, the hard part is there really isn't a whole lot that's just 90 cents. There's a couple things that are $1, but I don't have the money. So I asked the guy, and he said, you know what you need? He's like, to run everything and keep everything running, you got to have clean track. I was like, what? Clean track? Yeah, what's this? Well, this is some track cleaner. Okay, so this is a non-flammable detergent fluid, conditions the tracks, and improves locomotive traction. Well, that's good to know. And this is only 75 cents. So, sold. Threw that in the pile. Now, that gave me a grand total of $249.85. There is absolutely nothing that I can buy here for the most part. That is 15 cents, but that's okay. On my way home from the train store, I might grab a Coke, and if I have enough, maybe even a comic book or a stick of gum. All right, I think we did it. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I did it, but for the most part, I pretty much got myself right at $250 in 1962. Again, as a kid. It was a lot of fun and, again, a lot harder. You have to make some really tough choices and maybe not get something that you really probably would have wanted. So this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this, but I do want to hear from you. So break out your 1962 catalog, got $250 in your head, and say, how can I make this work? So let me know. Kind of give me a little bit of a heads up. Where did I go wrong? Remember, this is me as a kid. What would you do as a kid? I want to hear it. There's some incredible sets in here, some incredible pieces. I love it. And again, that's the fun of doing this. It's a great little exercise. And again, you also kind of realize, well, how expensive trains were and how, in some ways, little you got for $250, but also how much you can get for that amount of money. I'm not complaining. The stuff that I got out of here, this catalog, is absolutely amazing. Some incredible sets and a ton of fun and play value. So, hey, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys liked it too. Thanks for joining me on Brian's Train Room.
Presenting the Lionel Cavalcade of Trains for 1962, Section 1, featuring 6 new Lionel 027 operating cars designed for double action. Action in sales, action in play. This is the new Mercury capsule launching car, keyed to the interest of the space age. It's a replica of the Atlas rocket and man-carrying Mercury capsule, mounted on a special flat car launching platform. This is the new cherry picker car that moves the astronaut to the hatch of the Mercury capsule. His job done, the cherry picker backs off. The remotely triggered rocket and capsule zoom high into the air. At a predetermined height, the capsule separates from the rocket automatically, releasing a parachute which settles it gently to Earth. 2 great new cars packed with action, and they're Lionel new all the way through. This is the new turbo missile firing car, about to launch its missile at the new aerial target launching car. And believe it or not, the target is held in place by a jet of air produced by an air compressor built right into the car. And it's 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. Direct hit by the turbo missile. Mission accomplished. This is the new reconnaissance copter car, an innocent-looking freight car with a top that opens automatically to launch a Navy helicopter high into the air. Another new Lionel action car created to capture the interest and imagination of young America.